Gabriel is with us in Los Angeles. Hi, Gabriel. How are you?
Hi, Christy. Hi, Dave. How you guys doing?
Great, man. What's up?
Hey, so I had a question for you, Dave. I'm on baby step 2 right now. I have about 12,000 in my savings, and right now at the moment, I know I got to pay off all my debt, and I have 2 car payments. One of the cars doesn't work though. The engine went out, so it's going to cost me thousands of dollars to fix it. So my question is, I know I heard you, it might have been a couple of weeks back, saying that a 0 credit score is fine if you have cash because all your debt's paid off. So my question was, do I let this car go that doesn't work and let them take it, even though it's going to mess with my credit, or do I pay it off? That's my question.
Okay. So what do you owe on the car that works?
The car that works is, I still owe a lot. I still owe about $24,000. I barely knew.
What do you make?
I make $40,000 a year.
Okay. Have you got that car for sale yet?
The one that doesn't work?
The one that does work. You can't afford it.
No.
Okay.
No.
So what do you got? Like a $600 car payment, right?
It's $490.
Yeah. Okay. And you make $40K. This is a car you can't afford. This is what's killing you. So the car that doesn't work, what do you owe on it?
I owe about 10.
What is it?
It's a Honda Tucson.
What year?
15.
And the engine blew?
Yes. It's kind of a long story.
I'm just trying to ascertain what to do. Is
Yeah.
You said the engine's bad. What does that mean? I mean, you dropped a rod. It's a complete meltdown, or it has to have a new engine, or it just needs heads put on. I mean, what's the situation?
No, it needs a new engine.
Okay. All right. So that car fixed is probably worth 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my guess. I'm not too good at
it probably worth at least what you owe on it. And the one that you owe 24 on, what do you think it's worth?
I don't know. I'd say maybe like 15.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
You have family in the area?
Yeah. I'm actually married with 3 kids and a 4th on the way.
Like your parents are around, your uncles or aunts are around, or anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
They're all around.
Okay. Here's what I would tell you to do. All right. You're going to use some of the $12,000 to get a used engine from a salvage yard, a junkyard, that a local mechanic, not a dealer, puts in this car. You can do that for $2,000 to $3,000. You're going to fix that car. Because if you turn it in right now, it's worth $1,000. They're going to sue you for the other $9,000. And you're going to have a repo.
Right.
That is not a plan. Not when you can spend a little bit of your cash, fix the car, and then we're either going to drive that car or we're going to sell it, because we're selling the other one. You don't need a $24,000 car when you make $40 a year.
Right.
That's broke people stuff right there. So we got to get rid of that, and you may have to use some of your $12,000 to get rid of that $24,000 car because you're probably upside down on it.
Right.
So if you write a check for $2,000 or $3,000 and get out of that car, and a check for $2,000 or $3,000 and get out of the other car, you still got $6,000 left in your savings account, and you're either going to use that to go buy a car for cash to drive, or you're going to drive the $10,000 car and start working your way to paying it off.
Right.
After you put a used engine in it. So here's the deal. Somebody totaled a car just like that, and the car they totaled only had 20,000 miles on it, and so the engine that's sitting in that totaled car in that salvage yard is a perfectly good engine. And it is the cheapest way to put an engine in a used car. A used engine in a used car. And you can do that in the Los Angeles area. The reason I was asking about family in the area is my advice is kind of old school redneck advice, and I was hoping one of your daddy or your uncle or somebody actually had turned a wrench at some point in their life and would know how to pull off what I'm talking about with a good local mechanic. I'm not suggesting they actually do the engine change out, but the point is that somebody can get their head around this. Because, dude, if you just walk away from this, you're going to get sued for $9,000, and you're still going to be sitting on a $24,000 car you can't afford.
Right.
That's not a plan. That's 5 years from today. You're going to look back and go, both of those things were dumb. And if you fix this in the next 4 or 5 months, the way I'm talking about, you would have no car payments or very little car payment.
Gabriel, I hope you really do it. You sound a little sleepy to me. I hope you really do it. You've got a baby on the way, a 4th baby, by the way. I hope you really do it. Get yourself out of this mess. Yeah.
The problem is, Larry Burkett used to say, and he was a guy in the Christian world that taught on money. He said, whatever time it takes you to get into a mess, it usually takes you about the same time to get out. And I have learned that to disagree with that. It usually does take you about half the time.
Okay.
So if it took you 3 years to make the mess, it might take you a year and a half to get out.
Okay.
But it usually doesn't take you 3 years to get out.
Yeah.
In his case, he's either going to continue making messes.
Yeah.
By being half asleep.
Right.
And turning this car in.
Yeah.
And continuing to try to drive a $24,000 car you can't afford.
Right.
Because he's sleep deprived with a house full of kids. I don't know. But, or he's going to throw his shoulders back, straighten that spine out, and step into this thing and go, I'm going to go into a short-term, intense amount of inconvenience and pain.
Yeah.
To limit my long-term damage.
Well, it's like you always talk about, you can wander into debt, you cannot wander out. People get into a mess gradually, incrementally, by degrees, accidentally. Few people go headlong into it like, I really want to mess my life up.
No one looks at something and goes, that's really stupid, I'm going to do it anyway.
I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to, no.
Unless they're doing drugs.
Right.
I mean, no one just does it, right?
No, it's gradual. And so it takes you 3 years of gradual missteps, and then you look up
or
and
it is a really dumb idea, but you just thought it was smart.
Sure.
At least you thought it was smart, I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, I've been an enthusiastic ignoramus several times, right?
Same, sure. But then when you decide what you're going to do to fix it, you get an intensity about you that lessens the time it takes to get out. That's what you talk about with the gazelle intensity. That's what you talk about with the year and a half versus 3 years. You have an intensity and a drive and a fire under you to fix it.
Well, it's like we're talking about running this morning, but you're a big time runner and you've done a lot more half marathons or marathons than I've done. But it's amazing to me that you can run 12 and a half miles over. For me, that's a 2 hour arrangement, right? And I'm turned the corner, and after running, jogging, whatever, for 2.5 hours, or for 2 hours and 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, I turn the corner, and I can still sprint.
Yeah.
In my mind, is sprinting, but I mean, at least I can run fast. I've still got something left in the tank because I can see the finish line.
That's right.
And you go, I'm going to shave just a few more seconds off of this deal.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bust that line right there, and I'm going to bust into it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop and walk across the line.
Yeah. You see people with this paying off their debt, they actually end up doing it quicker than they thought their goal because they get that intensity at the end.
That last 6 months, because they start to believe.
That's right.
They kick it in. And there's something that goes with that. It's pretty powerful, you guys. So, hey, personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. Most people know what to do, but for 30 years, we've been convincing them to do it around here. It's called The Ramsey Show.